All right, y'all. This part two. I'm gonna try to finish this up because camera keep cutting off. Uh, you know, so let you know. We got 521. 5531. All right, let's see. Let's see what we got. We was at the Made in the Blaze, right? Made in the Blaze. I try to make it before it cut off. There were Native American women who became shamans, acquiring the power to control the weather, foretell the future, and use their talents in a benevolent manner, right? Foretell the future, right? Talk about psychics, right? There were also women who used these same talents wrong. They were labeled witches. Sometimes a woman with strong shamanistic power was feared and resented if she used her power only for good, right? She invariably ran into social difficulties because of hostility toward witches, right? Was a socially approved and justified form of hating in the Native American way in witches were killed. Talking about witches being killed, psychics being killed. The belief in witchcraft, we're talking about witchcraft, was a very powerful method of social control. Talking about social control. In many tribes, a woman was expected to perform a narrow range of activities. Any variance from the norm that might cause a casual observer, right, to become suspicious of her actions would no doubt be feared. Instead of, right, I go through that all the time, right? Motherfuckers come at me all the time because of my psychic powers. For a woman to be very careful about departing from expected behavior, of course, the liberty of the people will vary from tribe to tribe. One of the normal tasks for women among the Plain tribes was butchering of a carcass. Our main blazers dressed in the style flavor of the Cheyenne, a proud people, right? So look at the Cheyenne people. Her dress is decorated with elk and buffalo teeth, and she grips a skinning knife in her hand. Sometimes you look up the Cheyenne people and look at the complexion of the people, they're going to look like me. Look up the Cheyenne people. We connected to the, okay. Skinning knife in her hand. Three scavengers fly high under the misty clouds in the prairie sky. The maiden of blaze is stern and vengeful. The struggle is illogical, firm, and aggressive, and endowed with great common sense and up to a practical affairs, especially if they are unconventional. She shows great cleverness and adapt that. So psychics and mediums was used that foretelling the future and should be used now foretelling the future and handling controversy. You see what I'm doing right now, tapping in, right? Okay, let's see. And people like me was killed back in the day. And motherfuckers still be doing that shit now. All right. So I got so many stories about groups of people teaming up on me. Okay, hopefully we won't cut off. Hopefully we won't cut off. Okay, what we got? Where we at? Okay, we got it. The Rider Wake deck depicts the two of coins, right? That's Capricorn, Taurus, Virgo energy as a juggler. The two of shields is in the deck also as a juggler of yin and yang, right? An ornament symbol for cosmic balance, represented here by contrasting gourds. More than that, he is a Kachina, right? He is a Kachina, a messenger between the people and the gods. What did I just talk about? Between the people and the gods, he is the Pablo Equila of the classical Mercury, right? The sun, right? The moon, right? And that's funny, we talk about Mercury, I got Capricorn in my third house, right? The sun, the moon, the stars, I'm a Capricorn sun, are all represented, two of Pentacles represent Capricorn, as the Pablo, staple that comes from the earth corn, right? The Pablo believed that all things animate and inanimate have a special place in the universe. The center of the universe, right, is Sipapil. Their ancestors placed an emergence from the dark underworld. The Tiwa believe that, look up these people, the Tiwa believe the center of the universe is a lake in Colorado. Look up a lake in Colorado. The Zuni say the center of the edge of their own ancient village. Common to all Pablo is the belief in the place of emergence bounded by sacred mountains in the four cardinal directions. Within these boundaries, life must be harmonious, regulated. Uh, where we at? Regulated, controlled, perfectly balanced, free from evil thoughts, and ritualistic correct, so that supernaturals will dispense the blessings of life. The Kachina juggler, yin and yang, and with all in his harmony, helps dispense the blessings. He is framed by the sacred mountains behind him. The essence of the Kachina juggler is balance. We need balance, right? The card represents the law of Wicca and psychics that states for every action there is an equal and opposite reaction. There's added knowledge that there are three sides to every story. Each party's and the truth. This is the time for detachment and examination of all aspects of the situation. So it's time for detachment and examination of all aspects of the situation that we in, right? They talk about balance, right? Then they talk about psychic powers, right? Okay. Then we got the number 12, Sundance, right? Number 12. See what we're talking about for a cutoff, right? Then in the mid-1800s, the major tribal ritual performed by the people of the plains was the sun dance. The dance served as means of thanking the sun for past favors, fulfilling personal vows, and petitioning for protection and blessing for the future. From tribe to tribe, details differ, but all the accounts, it was a long and complex ceremony, and ritual began with the purification of the participants and a sweat bath, a sweat bath. We're talking about spiritual bath, sweet bath. And the medicine lodge, a medicine man slit the chest or the back of the participant, sliding either one of a pair of skewers through the skin or flesh. Down. Skewers were tied with thongs to the top of the center pole and with an eagle bone whistle held firmly and blown constantly between his teeth, and Dan's tugging until the skewers were torn away. In some tribes, the men stood back and pulled until the thongs were tight, and others were lifted off the ground and swung from the thongs until the skewers were torn out. Goddamn. The Sundance card depicts a participant hanging by skewers in his back. You talking about hanging and torturing people. You hear this shit? In his back. With the wand in one hand and the medicine feather skewered into his other arm. The medicine man, other participants sat around. And the medicine lies, the personal medicine shield hanging behind him on the wall. And all sacred buffalo skull hanging on the center lodge pole. The card represents the symbolic death, the annihilation of self. The annihilation of self. You see what we're talking about? The annihilation of self. Self-hate, killing yourself, that represents the first and final steps in the process of attaining the rank of adept. And Hera is the idea of sacrifice, right? The annihilation of self, and you got to take that on a good term too. Annihilation of self. We got to think of ourselves as a collective. It is important to remember that the why and how of one's enlightenment, to acquire the knowledge of one's boundless heritage, to acquire the knowledge of one's boundless heritage, especially to the Native American, is necessary to be on good terms with nature. To know your history is to be good terms on nature and her children. To treat all with absolute respect and acceptance, love, and even worship, right? Right? And then we got the journey, number 6, before this cut off. Journey number 6. We're almost done talking about that journey. Shit, but on the deep side, I talk about torture, and then we talk about that journey like on the ship. So it's double-sided. Let's get it. 6, the journey. All right, real quick before we cut off. Rivers and trails were the Native American highways. Journeys were made by the vessel, horse, or foot. Vessel included the canoe, which could be made of burnt-out log, khaki planks, and birch bark. However, the Native American did not travel solely on the physical plane. The tribes of the North American continent existed in the spiritual world. One could travel in visions, right? In dreams and in spirit. A dream could keep a man or a tribe from going to war, provide enough impetuous to pack all belongings and move to another hunting ground. One journey could easily lead to another, a young man's vision quest, right? For example, was a journey into his soul that mapped out the direction from the rest of his life would take on a mundane and spiritual level. Journey shows a brave paddling his canoe, silhouetted against distant hills and setting sun. The essence of journey is travel for gain, but necessary for pleasure. Bro, you hear that? Travel for gain. So travel for gain, not necessary for pleasure. Journey is a time for expansion of all levels, right? In reverse, the longest journey is the one within. Sometimes if our hearts are not pure, we are left without nothing. Avoid, right? But we're talking about a journey for travel, for gain, not necessarily pleasure. We went on a journey, right? Look at that. Look at that. Look at that. Hung, mutilated, right? For gain, for money, not for pleasure, right? And then what we got? To finish this off, we got the strength card, number 8, and we got the sun. So, I'll give you what the 8 is. We're going to end it at that. All right? Number 8. The Cougar Line of the North American continent is a strong, beautiful cat weighing between 150 to 300 pounds and measuring between 7 and 9 feet in length. Before the coming of the white man, the big cat reigns the whole continent, as did the Native Americans. However, cougars have been hunted down and killed until they are perhaps 300 left hiding in the mountains in the Everglades, right? What was done to the cougar was also tried to the Native Americans, and in a way was successfully. A strong and beautiful people was changed into a weak imitation of itself. The cougar on the card's strength is pictured with the Shawnee medicine woman, the shapeshifter, whose eyes are the same color as the cat's, for they are the essence one. The tree, sun, plateau, the waterfall, and the rushing stream, the constellation links, and the fiery dawn sky convey strength, beauty, and communion with the nature, right? With nature, right? The card represents not only strength, right? Right? But also the joy of exercising that strength. It represents marriage as it occurs in nature, right? Without artificial attempts to direct its fulfillment, the type of energy inherent is primitive and creative, completely independent of reason and criticism, right? And what's under that? We got the sun, right? We got the sun. A child in Mexico peasant grabbed points at the sun in an attempt to distract another child, and Cupid, dressed in full ceremony guard. The interaction of the children suggests that the possibility of enlightenment and happiness, love and friendship, and their inherent satisfaction brighten the scene. The sun of the Aztec calendar, the original of which was very colorful, the rendering power of the heavenly body represented the 20 stone. This calendar was copied from what was found in the main square of Mexico City in 1790. Look up 1790. It was called the La Pedro de la Sol and was dedicated to the sun god Tanatia. Pictured at the center, the first circle around the full center. Motif contains the 20-day signs of the Aztec. Look up the Aztecs. Behind there are the stars and the heavens and the two serpents that represent the day and the night. The young people depicted are truly representative of the children of the sun, the Aztec, the Maya, children of the sun. We are the children of the sun, right? The Maya, the Yaqui, remnants of the civilization utterly vanquished. The background is barren as unfollowed field. Time and hope is inferred, as well as the satisfaction, success, and contentment found in helping one another. And the rewards of new friendship. The sun means happiness, high spirits, and acceptance of life. So, we gotta end it, with happiness, love, and acceptance for life. But we gotta take in what we learned in this reading, the good and the bad, right? And if I can, I use my deck. If I can, matter of fact, I'm gonna use the ancient animal deck before I cut off, right? I'm gonna use the ancient animal deck for shuffling 3 times. Give us a message from the ancient animal deck. Black people, the next 100 years in America. Black people, 1 card. What's the future for black people? Message for black people. Future, 100 years. Black people, what we got? I hate to even, it's hilarious. We got the monkey. We got the monkey and we got the number 26. Number 26, 62, and number 8, right? So I'm going to break that 26 down to an 8 before we die. It's funny that monkey came out. What they used to call those monkeys, right? Balance, infinity, material satisfaction. So we might actually get reparations in the future. Let's see what's going on. What we're going to have to do for it, though, because it looks like asking ain't going to work. Talk about adventure. It's time to climb out of your comfort zone and get adventurous. Where have you always wanted to travel? What lifelong dream gets to be realized? To whom have you been too shy to introduce yourself? It is an ideal time to pull out your journal and meditate on your heart's desires. Young monkeys will test each other by playing King of the Castle. Where's your edge? What is your castle? Identify one way to begin manifesting your adventure today. Bring the mystery alive. Swing into the divine moment of opportunity. So opportunity coming, right? Opportunity coming for black people. We get the opportunity now, right? And let's see what I can pull from my deck. Let's see what I can pull from my deck. That I made it. Future for black people. 100 years in America. Let's get it. First card. Okay. We got water signs. Y'all already know I'm Pisces, Moon, Cancer, Rising, Capricorn, Sun. Right? Well, water signs could play a part in the movement. Or water sign could play a major part in the movement. What else we got? Well, that means it's love. Water do represent love, emotions, right? What else we got? Baby father. So, baby father. Love, we got to show, men, we got to show more love to our kids. We got to be fathers to our kids. That's what I get. What else we got? What else we got? We got to be better fathers. We got to be better mothers. What else we got? Future for black people, 100 years. Future for black people, 100 years. Okay, hold on. That's all make it make sense. Most black people, 100 years. What we got? Hold on. One more card. See, best sex ever. Uh, we got shit. We gotta make more babies. We getting that. We gotta make more babies. We gotta keep creating babies. We gotta use protection to protect ourselves. But we gotta chill out with that abortions. With abortions, you know. What else we got? What else we got? One more card. Hold on. What else we got? I'll leave it that. Schedule time for God. Peace and love. It's your boy Motai Mighty, aka The Light. This part two. Future for black people next 100 years. Where we get free, where we get reparations, where we get justice, where we keep living in poverty, while our numbers keep getting low until we just don't exist, until we all in prison or dead and gone. Peace and love. Leave a comment.